And we're live.
Okay? And we're live. All right, so from the grapevine, remember, we had the knuckle choke. So come in, grip, pull up, elbows tight, squeeze in, choke on those carotids with my knuckles. Remember that one? Okay? All right. Fairly low percentage, but used greatly to give you the next step. Okay, so I'm grapevine, I go for this. He's smart, he goes to defend. Right? Not hard to defend. He blocks. Next thing, that lets me slide up. I slide up. I'm sitting up like this just to show you guys, and because I'm kind of teetering anyway, right? So I pull the gi open, set this hand deep. When I say deep, deep to the point where my knuckles can be flat on the mat, just like this, still gripping his gi. Deep, gripping, flat, okay? At this point, I'm gonna set my hand over here and base, because his defense is he's gonna try and trap me and roll me. Boom, set the base. Elbow to block. Be nice about this with your partner, but in reality, when you're doing this in a tournament, go ahead and drive it across, okay? So elbow block, drive across to make him look into the choke. Grip on whatever I can. Don't get too focused on gripping on into the collar and trying to squeeze. If I can't get that collar, I don't want to waste time. I'll grip on top of the shoulder. Okay, everything squeezes, comes together, weight comes heavy, and he's tapping. All right. Next option, he goes to defend this one. Remember? So we're going to pull up to this technical mount. Knee nice and tight, foot nice and tight into his rib cage. If I can, I'm going to go ahead and pinch up onto his tricep. This grip was still here. I'm going to go with this option first. Okay, this grip was still here. This gives us many options. The first of which, we're going to reach underneath, grip onto our own gi, like so, or like so for the modified Ezekiel. So I leave this in, reach, grip onto my own gi, shove my thumb in if I can, if not, no big deal. Get a hold, modified Ezekiel. Ezekiel happens like this. We're not pushing with this one, but we are going to close that space, compress his carotids. Next option, I go to do this, he defends. 5-finger grip right here. Okay, control that. Come underneath, run this up. If I can grip my own bicep, that's pretty awesome. Grip my bicep, I'm gonna pull, squeeze, and push, okay? So I pull, squeeze, and push. Pull, squeeze, push. Choke, no problem, okay? From here. If he does get this hand free, grip your own gi right here, come up, okay? At this point, he's probably thinking armbar. We're gonna go for the wrist now. My thumb's on the inside of his wrist, 4 fingers on the outside. I like to pull this elbow up nice and tight to my chin so I can control it, okay? Just like so, switch to a double, get the wrist lock. If he's really slick and he gets away with this, and he goes to defend somehow, breaks away, no problem. We have another attack. Take this collar, open it, pull it, reach around the head, thumb in, 4 fingers to the outside. At this point, I've got a couple options to finish. If he's really big and I can't get my hand over the top, I'm going to come here, shove his head down into that choke, no problem, okay? Same principles, you're putting your wrist right into his carotid for the choke, okay? I'm here. My favorite way to finish this is to reach up nice and high. If I reach high, even without squeezing, a lot of times you can finish it. But if you reach up nice and high, block his head, shove him into it, that's a great spot. Okay, so that's a review of all the attacks that we've done so far. Now we're going to shift gears into this week, which we're going to do an arm bar from the same position. Okay? So let's say that I go here and he does something and he starts to get away. All right? One way to make sure that I go ahead and secure the arm, and remember we did this with the wrist lock, is to grip my own gi and come up nice and tight, okay? He's probably thinking armbar, and that's okay, because if we're good about this, this is really, really hard to defend. Go ahead and grip, all right? So what I'm gonna do, push his face away, go ahead and come up on top, and I'm gonna be kind of pressuring into him, because I don't want him to come back until I'm ready to come back. And that's a mistake we make a lot of times, is we sit back too fast, and then he has time to scoot his elbow away. I need to control his elbow. If I'm attacking his shoulder, it's hard for him to get his elbow free, okay? So I'm gonna push his face away. When I'm ready, step over, okay? mistake people make is they'll drop back towards the hip too much or towards the head too much. There's a magical zone kind of in between where you need to land with this. Okay, so I stepped over. As I drop back, my legs need to straighten to keep him flat on the mat. Principles of the armbar. If I let him have head control, he can sit up into me, okay? So keep him flat. This is a great position for me. Knees come together. I'll show you why in just a second. Once I'm in this position, I can kind of let this go and start trying to break the grips here. I don't want to let everything go, obviously. I need to stay underneath at some point. I'll break whatever's closest to me. So if he's gripping like this, break this. If he's gripping over the top right here, whatever's closest, I'm going to break that away. If I struggle with that, he's really, really strong, I might reach across and cup his elbow and pull that elbow to me. Go ahead and grip as hard as you can with whatever you want. Okay? Watch what happens to his under grip or this hand. If I grip this elbow and pull it to me, look what that does for me. It gives it to me. Okay? So as soon as I have control of it, I break his grip. Remember, control his sit up so his face is away, legs are nice and tight, squeezing together. As I come back, it's important that I go ahead and start controlling where his thumb is pointing. Ideally, I want his thumb pointing to the ceiling, okay? That's going to give me the most leverage. I start to come back, I'm controlling his thumb. Again, keeping squeezed nice and tight here. Boom, elbow, elbow attack. Okay, if I need to, I can start to come to this side right here. If I come to the hip side, it gives him less mobility in that elbow joint. If you keep these nice, so right now I'm not squeezing, and that's why we need to squeeze. Look how much mobility he has right here, and look how far down he can come. Okay, now I'm going to squeeze, watch. Just by squeezing your knees together. That's number one. Number two, it's harder for him to get away from me. So attack that thumb side, pull it down until they tap. If you need to, you can hip up, but if it's done properly, you probably won't be hip up, okay? Another option, so we're going to drill that first one, so focus on that one. I'm going to show the other option just for the video. All right, so another option, we're here. I'm going to control this arm and come underneath right here. This is called that S mount. Remember we reviewed a little bit? All right, so I'm here, come up, pop that foot right underneath. If you're not flexible enough, don't worry, this won't work for everybody. As soon as I have that, my favorite way to attack that is to come underneath this way and grip his pants. I'm coming over the top right here, and see where my feet are? They're together, hugging his shoulder. As I come back, I control his chin. I'm together, hugging his shoulder. This is really hard for him to defend. Again, same thing, attack whatever's closest. I'm going to drop back. The reason I grab the pants is, when I'm up in this position, some guys are strong enough that they're going to be able to bridge and try to run away from you, okay? This helps to prevent that. This won't allow that to happen, okay? So, again, pull up, control him, come underneath, grab the pants, throw. I control his chin. My heels are pulling into his shoulder, and I'm squeezing. This one's a hard one to do, so you have to coordinate 3 things at once right there. But if you do, it's a beautiful finish right here. If he starts trying to wiggle away and you're still fighting this grip, look. Grip, drop. And again, it's that magical position of kind of like, you have like 30 degrees of magic right here where I can get the armbar. If I go too low, he's probably going to be able to sit up and grab onto stuff and get away. Okay? If I go too high, even if I control his elbow, he's going to do the running escape. We don't want that to happen, okay? Let's try him, guys.